Pretty big fish to fry, my oh my. Pretty big fish to fry, pretty big fish to fry, my oh my. Last weekend I barely thought I'd make it out alive. Told myself I'd take time and give the world a try. I was alive, my oh my.
Oh, everybody, it is Thursday, March the 8th for your podcast world. For those of you checking out Facebook Live, it's Wednesday, a very snowy March the 7th here in New Jersey. It is blowing outside. We thank you for taking the time to join us this and every week. We took a little bit of a mulligan last week. We had some personal matters to attend to, so we are back and better than ever. And yeah, let's just go.
Why don't you go back home to your strip malls and drink your Zimas and Smirnoff Ices? Oh yeah! The greatest beer in all the
Simply from the bar.
Yeah, I like cool beverage, yeah. I like cool beverage, yeah. I like cool beverage, yeah. Cause I'm feeling kind of parched. Stick it in the fridge, stick it in the fridge.
Tonight, coming at you from Brick City Brewing, I am rocking a Citra and Mosaic Double India Pale Ale from Brick City. Like I said, Righteous Jams coming at you, 8.5%.
Dippa.
Very good. Very good. We had a little conversation about it beforehand. Brett apparently approves. So let's go to Denville first. Welcome back home, by the way.
Thank you. The lights are on. So that is a plus.
Like Motel 6.
Yes, Jeff, I would approve because I like beers.
Yeah, apparently today is proof of that.
Yeah, for those of you that are unfamiliar right now with the current weather on the East Coast, it is bad. I don't know how it is by you guys. I got over a foot. I just took the garbage out and I walked down my driveway and it was above my knee.
Nice.
Stepping in snow. So it was pretty bad today. So I took, the liberty of my, free day to raising my kids and enjoying a couple beers. One of those beers, which was I believe I've had it on the show before, so I don't think I'm introducing anything new, but it's Strawberry Cream Pop IPA from Bolero Snort.
I never thought they'd be able to make.
I never thought they'd be able to make a beer that tasted like this.
It's been a while since that, to be honest. You've done a pretty good job of staying away from
that. I try.
He's wrecked.
It's good. Welcome.
Thanks.
Yampo, do you have any snow down there?
The only snow we have is
the Miami Dolphins come.
We have no snow down here. We had a little bit of rain.
Miss you. Thinking about how about me going to a meeting and doing this before I go?
Crazy.
Tell you what, if I did that before a couple meetings today, I might have had a better day. But we have no snow. It sprinkled and rained down here a little bit, and we've pretty much missed every large winter storm. So okay. I did not spend the day drinking, although I wish I did. I am drinking a Brothers Don't Shake Hands, which is an Imperial IPA, 8% collab between Manor Hill Brewing in Columbia, Maryland, and 3 stars out of DC. It's awesome. Not only is the can amazing, but it's delicious.
Very nice. Very nice.
What are you drinking, Jeff?
I already did that.
Yeah.
So I'm kidding. I'm playing the role of Brett.
We need to pay attention there.
Who cares? That's what you're drinking.
Brett, we got this one for you. Your boy, Tom Brady, in his Facebook television series. I guess that's what this thing is that he's doing.
Is this the Tom versus Time?
Yeah. He had a parenting moment, and as 3 parents here, three fathers of young children, I think we can really relate to this. That he said that after the Super Bowl loss, that was the first time that he'd seen his kids really react in that way. Benny was crying, Vivi was crying, and they were sad for me and sad for the Patriots. But I just said to them, look, you guys, this is a great lesson. we don't always win. We try our best, and sometimes it doesn't go the way we want.
Ugh.
I see what you're doing. But I'm gonna take the other side of this and say that this is amazing. I love everything about what Tom said. Obviously, his children are used to him winning. He's been to 8 Super Bowls. He's won 5. He's a winner. But you guys preach. I know both of you on this show about entitlement and the upcoming generation always feeling entitled to things. It was a great teaching moment for Tom to tell his kids, hey, listen, I know you're used to it because we're so freaking good, but we don't always win. And you need to learn that. And I just think that's
fast, Pat Sajak.
I think it's fantastic parenting.
Yeah, great parenting. Do you think they did this over a meal of like pure green liquid that they all drink together since they don't have any actual food in their diet?
Yeah, I definitely would not expect it to be over a starch or a bunch of carbs.
No, God no.
A lot of water.
Whole lot of water.
Good pasta dish would have been nice.
You can't argue with success, though.
No, I can't argue, but I can argue with 2 things.
Okay.
One, why is he? I still don't understand why he's doing this Facebook TV series. I don't get it.
I think it's because they planned on winning the Super Bowl and it like being a good thing to keep going, but that didn't happen.
They plan on winning them every year. And 2, I don't think that it's a real lesson for his kids that sometimes you don't win, because his kids are always going to win.
Yeah, it was like Kobe Bryant winning an Oscar. It's like, thank God he got a break finally.
Right, the guy finally caught one.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Like they're always going to win. They're born into like a ridiculously wealthy and overly privileged, household. Like they're just always going to win.
Yeah, they are.
Brett, is your alarm going off at your house?
I didn't know what that was.
Who cares?
That's what it is. I think it's my house. Next one, Carmelo Anthony passes the logo Jerry West and moves into the top 20 in all-time scoring.
The only thing I'll say about this one is I'm surprised.
Me too. Honestly.
I'm very surprised. Like genuinely surprised. Surprised that Jeff is leaving us to talk alone, because that is dangerous about basketball
Association. That's okay.
Terrible idea.
No, you know what, Dave? Honestly, when I saw that was the first thing that I was like, wow, really? Melo, Jerry West. Like,
has he scored that many points? Who are the other 19?
Yes, because that's what, if nothing else, that's what you say about Melo, right? Is he's a pure shooter. So you look to get him open looks, you look to get him to score buckets, and he can shoot, man. That is the one thing I will praise about his game. That was fantastic. So, top 20 all time, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm not fully surprised about it. Passing like somebody like a name like Jerry West, I don't necessarily think of Melo as the better offensive player than West, but seeing something like this kind of nudges you in that direction. So that's kind of where I was surprised.
He's 69 points away from passing Reggie Miller.
Nice.
Or 70, I suppose. But
he's a better offensive player than Reggie Miller ever was.
And it's hard for me to understand that just because I really only watched basketball when Reggie Miller was playing. Like, I haven't really watched Carmelo Anthony, which is part of why I'm saying to Brett, I'm surprised. Like, I know Carmelo Anthony's good, but I didn't realize he was top 20 all-time scoring good.
Well, Reggie Miller, did you think Reggie Miller was?
I wouldn't be surprised if you had told me he was in the top 20.
Yeah. But Reggie, I think, was a lot like Carmelo in the sense that their games were both very just one side of the floor.
Absolutely.
That's fair.
Like Jerry West is the friggin' logo. You know what I mean? Like it's different. It's a different stratosphere when you crack that top 10 too. Like you look at those top 10 guys and it's
those guys are all, almost all of them are north of 30,000 points.
Yeah, and they were, for the most part, they were guys that played both ends of the floor. So I'm not really surprised that he's cracked the top 20. I think at the end of the day, they let everybody into the Basketball Hall of Fame, so it's not even it's not really even a discussion.
Yeah.
Like if Dennis,
did they let Drazen Petrovic in, or did they at least take one of his
fun stat I learned about Drazen last night? Higher 3-point percentage than Steph Curry.
Well, when you only played 2 seasons.
Yeah, okay. It was more than that, but 2 seasons on the Nets.
That's what it felt like.
But yes, fair enough. I did think about that as well.
Here's a question. Here's a question, Jeff. Jeff, do you think LeBron is going to pass Kareem? And how many more games does it take to score another like 8,000 points? Because I think that's how many behind he is.
Do I think he can pass Kareem? I think he definitely has the ability to.
I don't see it happening.
But I think it's a lot like I'll tell you the perfect example that I have for it, Dave, is it's
who he's serious.
It's akin to, I didn't say David, I said Dave. It's akin to the conversation we all had a decade ago about Tiger.
Who? Exactly.
Like a decade ago, we were like, he's definitely going to pass him. He's definitely going to pass him. He's going to definitely do that. There's so many things that can go wrong in the next 7 years in LeBron's career.
What's his career like scoring average? Like, what is he average per game typically? 30?
I don't know. Somebody bring it up.
Well, let's just guesstimate 30 points, right?
No, it's not.
It's under 30.
Okay, so 25.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably somewhere between those two numbers.
Okay, you're talking about 300 something games.
Yeah.
To eclipse 8,000.
Right. That's not a lot of games.
82 games in a season. 4 more seasons. Yeah, he'll be playing for more than that.
Yeah, it's not a lot of games. You know,
it sounds like a lot to a guy who doesn't focus on basketball a lot, but when you break it down like that, 4 seasons, I think he's going to do it.
He averages 27.
Okay, so that's 315 or so games. That's 4 years.
I think it's doable.
Interesting.
I think it's very doable.
Once he passes Michael, do we have to hear the Michael LeBron discussion anymore?
Oh, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that we will hear it and it won't ever stop.
Who cares? Well, it will be in Who Cares forever for me.
It should be. Here's another one for the NBA.
Speaking of the Bulls.
Nice transition. It's like he teed that one up. The league office spoke with the Bulls, I guess it was this week or last week, about their lineups. Essentially what they were doing is they were playing kids instead of veterans. And so they were like, listen, like, can you be a little bit less obvious about trying to lose every game for the rest of the year? And the Bulls were like, nah, man, I mean, we're trying to get a look at the young kids. Like, is it how far does the league really have to go into something like that? Did they go too far? Did they not go far enough? I don't know.
I don't know. I really don't know. I waver back and forth constantly about tanking. I really do.
In what sense?
In the sense that, like, all right, is it a good thing when you know a team is packing it in? But at the same token, I turn around, I'm like, look, realistically, like 3 teams can win the NBA title. Everybody else kind of should be tanking to figure out how they can achieve where the Cavs are, the Warriors are, and the Rockets are. Like, that's where you need to go. So
let's be clear, they're not even the worst team.
No.
And an owner in Mark Cuban has come out and publicly said that he was trying to tank.
Yeah. But I mean, the Bulls aren't good. So what are you going to do? Float around in mediocrity?
I don't know. Ask the Knicks. They've been doing it for a freaking decade.
Here's the ultimate problem I have with this. It's for the fans, and it's not like this is some kind of like joke of a franchise. This is a legitimate organization that's had championship success. As a fan of this team, how frustrating is this?
Yeah, I would argue that they are kind of a joke, to be honest with you, because they had a very good head coach there in
Thibodeau,
Phil Jackson,
and Thom Thibodeau,
and they got rid of him very unceremoniously. They tried to quote unquote rebuild, and then they dealt Jimmy Butler away for 10 cents on the dollar.
They also had a lot of unfortunate Derrick Rose. For a while, Derrick Rose was going, he was an MVP. He was going to.
Well, he was going to BK. Jay-Z was going to bring him to BK. I don't know if you remember that.
I would have.
Yeah, that would have been great.
By the way, I watched BK play the Warriors last night. That was a lot of fun.
I saw you tweeting about that. I should have gotten in on the live game betting line on that.
Yeah. I wonder how that moved. Just like got bigger and bigger.
You want to know what didn't move well? The in-game betting for the Knicks the other night. Ugh, that's a story for another time.
You can't talk about the Knicks. It's not.
We could, but we won't.
No, we won't.
Who cares?
This was an interesting one.
To who?
University of Memphis is this is exactly why this part of the show exists, because it's the language that the media uses that drives all of us crazy. Memphis, quote unquote, may fire Tubby Smith and may hire Penny Hardaway. Like, what?
That's weird.
Like, what? That's not reporting.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
I may have a sip of this beer, and then I may have another one.
It's
If you're Tubby Smith, what do you say to Memphis right now? Like, do you call them and you're like,
Do I have a job?
you may fire me?
got like a $9 million buyout. I don't think he gives a rat's ass.
I know, but that's the weirdest thing ever. You can't have a job. Like, he has a job right now, like a thing to do. And wouldn't it be weird to get up every morning and go to work at your job and they're like, they may fire you. They may do it.
But it's got to be a little bit different going into your job every day. And if they fire you, you still get a $9 million payout.
Fine, but so then how many fucks do you give if you're Tubby Smith?
You give zero because you've won a national title, and somebody will pay you to coach after you take that buyout and you serve out your non-compete part of your contract.
What does he do every day then? Just like walk in and like order Papa John's and watch some tape? Like,
Better ingredients.
I have a question. Why is he being considered for this gig, considering he coaches like an AAU team and like a high school team? And I don't get it. How is he all of a sudden qualified? And are we talking about Big Penny or Little Penny?
have you ever seen the Blackstreet
He's
video? That's
he went to Memphis, so I think that's the connection. And there's like a little bit of a
I went to Dickinson. I'm not coaching their football team next year.
well, you didn't play in the NFL. I mean, there's a trend right now in college hoops to do that. Like, Chris Mullen went back to St. John's. He had no coaching experience at all.
Ewing.
There's some other trends.
Okay. Ewing's at Georgetown. He had no head coaching experience, so it's not unprecedented. And apparently the attendance numbers have dipped like the lowest they've been since before Calipari was there. So
Whatever.
all-
It's yeah, he's gonna hire Larry Brown as an assistant too. That's the biggest joke of it all.
well, do you think he's going to get paid more to actually coach at Memphis, or that they've paid him as an AAU coach that funnels players to Memphis? What do you think the bigger paycheck is?
Oof. I don't know, but I can't ever hear anybody say AAU without thinking of the back-to-back-to-back AAU national champs. Fred McGriff, the crime dog.
I loved Fred McGriff. He was great.
Back-to-back. What's that? Tom Amansky.
Is it Tom Amansky? I don't
Yeah.
remember. That was awesome.
Remember that ball drill that they would do, and everyone would just be in a circle? But fucking joke.
There's like 8 people in the world that are.
Who cares? 8 people? All 3 of them are on this show.
ESPN's Darren Ravel reports that the bullpen carts are going to return next year.
This doesn't belong in Who Cares?
This is my favorite story. Yeah, this is like my favorite story of all time.
You were super into this. Talk to us.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm just waxing nostalgic and I'm longing for things of the past, but that's amazing. Like the fact that bullpen carts are going to return. I don't know what it is about them. I love riding around in golf carts, so I could imagine I would love riding around in bullpen carts. The advantages, I think the point was that about 20 something odd years ago, when the stadium started to change, fans kind of wanted to watch relievers run out from the bullpen onto the mound. And so the way of the bullpen cart kind of faded away, but I can't think of a better time than right now to bring it back with pace of game. I see guys now literally walk out from center field and walk the whole way
So
to
you
the mound.
think this is legitimately going to speed up?
No. But anything that could get baseball to speed up its game, I'm in favor of. I just think it's an ancillary benefit than the actual real.
What kind of
main
benefit?
focus. Stop! Don't make me do it again because I don't have the capacity to do it.
You had a couple of syllables in there that weren't in that word. I think you called
What
it ancillary.
What was the other one I said?
Syllables.
What was the one I said before the show?
I don't even remember.
Something like haha. What? Whatever.
I don't
All right.
remember. But so you think it might actually speed it up? Okay, that's
A
one.
fraction of a second, but it's just
Here's my take, and I realize I'm talking to a guy who played baseball. Baseball players get a huge bad rap for being completely out of shape and playing in professional sports. And now you're telling me that somebody had to come in and do their job is going to hop in a golf cart and get a ride to the mound to go do their job.
Tell me this. Tell me, wait, Dave, before you go, just tell me this one thing. All right, baseball, whatever. Tell me as a fan of sports, you wouldn't love this picture. It's Augusta on a Sunday.
Hello.
It's the 18th hole. Big fat John Daly rips his drive down the fairway, and all you see is him just riding in a golf cart, like just straight up the 18th fairway, cigarette in his mouth, drink in the golf cart. You love it. There's just something about golf carts. Mm-hmm. So I like it for ball players too. I just think it works.
Okay. Here are my 2 cents. One, you're so drunk you just legitimately regurgitated and plagiarized the ESPN article word for word.
I swear to God, I haven't read an ESPN article.
Including ancillary, including the term ancillary.
That's not what he said.
Ancillary.
He said ancillary. Right.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I have not read an ESPN.
I mean,
article.
I just want to read like this is like I'm a college professor, and you literally just plagiarized the ESPN article.
Go ahead. What is it?
Well, it literally said an ancillary benefit might be that could speed up the game. Hall said, "I expect a lot of teams to follow suit." Whatever.
Let's be fair. This is apparently only the D-backs that are doing it, right?
For now.
Yeah, the Bo Sox are looking at it apparently.
Yeah, because Fenway's huge. They definitely need a freaking bullpen. Like, seriously, come on.
Why do you hate it? It's kind of funny.
Because there are also some.
It's like the ice cream sundae in the helmets.
No, it's not. There are also some ballparks that have the bullpen like on the side, like in foul territory. Like, are they going to still take a bullpen cart too? They have to walk.
There's like not many that do.
I don't think there's any of
those.
It's like
left. The Rays. It might be like the Tampa Bay Rays. That honestly might be it.
That place needs some Jewish lightning.
Hey, Captain Schmedium Ed Hockley retired. Did you see that?
I think that is a big deal.
You do? Why?
Because he's so damn handsome in that Schmedium.
All right, hold on. I'm on an ESPN article right now. It says it's weird because he's so damn handsome in that Schmedium. Yeah, but dude, that's kind of weird that you would say that right now.
It's a really good effort. Really good effort.
The ancillary effect.
The ancillary questions you're asking are silly, though.
The best part about it is when we go back and listen to this, that is 100% becoming a drop for the next.
I already knew it.
Didn't they say Ed Hockley's son is actually going to step up? Like, where's he coming from? Is he just being hired because he's his son?
He was a back judge.
I think he was his spotter, and so
that's why it said BJ.
Okay,
back judge.
Right? Yeah, he was a back judge.
BJ Hockley.
But isn't that weird that like his dad retires and they're like, oh no, we'll just plug you in. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like, and everybody wonders why the NFL, like, everybody freaks out over every ruling that gets made on the field by these fucking officials.
Who cares?
Running out of steam, boys. You guys are running out of steam.
Le'Veon Bell signed a franchise tag. I think it was today. So my question to you is, he's 26 years old. So I understand if he was like 29 or if he was 28 even. Like, he's a 26-year-old running back in the prime of his career. If he's not going to get a contract and they're going to franchise him, is there any opportunity going forward throughout the league from now on that a running back is going to get another big contract after their first contract?
Very few, I think.
Who? I mean, at this point,
I think Ezekiel Elliott.
What's the parameters here? Because isn't Devonta Freeman like the highest paid guy right now at like $8.5 million a year?
Is that if that's it? That's crazy.
I think no. I'm pretty sure that's it.
I mean, we all know that they've devalued that position over the years. It's not shocking.
Antonio Brown makes 17 mil.
Right. But what's crazy is I think the best. I would draft a running back number 1 overall in this draft.
Well, let's go back to that first in a second. But can we talk about, I think, how, like, remember when you first started playing fantasy football? Like, I'm talking like when it was like you had to check box scores and like there wasn't automated shit. Like, running backs were like gold, right? They were like the biggest deal in the world.
Sure.
And then like somewhere in the last decade or so, like PPR leagues became like all the rage. Everybody's in a PPR league. And so suddenly the wide receiver became like this sexy pick and running backs kind of got devalued. I think it's funny that the NFL contract statuses have kind of followed what the fantasy football layout has too. Like
Why do you think that is?
it's so much sexier to get a wide receiver in like round 1 that's gonna catch 10 balls, like Julian Edelman gonna catch 10 balls a game, for 150 yards than to just grind it out with Chris Ivory.
All right, hold on. Here's the deal. I'm going to read this list to you, and you guys are going to I want to get your take on this, okay? So I guess Le'Veon's technically the highest paid because he was franchised last year, right?
Yeah.
So that was $12 million. Other than that, the ones –
Wait, he shouldn't be highest paid if he's franchised. Aren't you the aggregate of the top 4?
Okay, well, he made $12 million last year. But the guy who has an actual contract that's the highest paid is Devonta Freeman.
Okay.
$8.3 million.
8.3.
After that, here's the top 10. It's kind of shocking. Number 3, LaShawn McCoy, $8 million. Doug Martin, $7.2 million.
Ooh.
How does that make sense?
Yuck.
Leonard Fournette, $6.8 million.
I like that.
Lamar Miller, 6.5. Chris Ivory, 6.5.
Oof.
DeMarco Murray, 6.5. Zeke, 6.2. Ready for this one? This is my favorite. Giovanni Bernard, 5.2, number 10.
Bernard had like a
Is that a Southwest alert? Someone now free to roam about your country?
Bernard had like a cup of coffee where he was like
Yeah.
really
It was the year after Hard Knocks.
He split carries with Jeremy Hill his entire career.
He was the young hot guy of the week 3 years ago before this podcast was born on Hard Knocks.
true story.
These hot guys.
I don't know. I tell you what I do love. I love that the Chris Ivory signing is somebody else's responsibility rather than the Jets making that sign.
Now you got $100 million in cap space.
I don't know, Jeff. I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about in relation to Le'Veon Bell, and I agree that this.
It was actually this morning, but you just forgot because you blacked out already.
I blacked. Yeah, brown out. I'm
Right.
still,
Okay.
I don't remember what I was going to say.
Le'Veon Bell. Something about Le'Veon Bell. I don't know.
Yeah. I still don't remember.
It was an aggregate contract thing.
But do you think Le'Veon Bell is actually worth it though, Brett? Like, would you sign him to a long-term deal?
No, I wouldn't sign any running back to a long term.
Oh, who cares?
Oh, it's time. We're bringing it back. So this week, we come to you for the young hot guy of the week. And it's Christian McCaffrey.
These hot guys.
He was the 8th pick of the 2017 draft, and he was hiking
These
with
hot guys.
family and friends in Castle Rock, Colorado on Saturday when they witnessed Dan Smoker Sr. He was 72 years old. He fell about 20 feet onto a rock while hiking with his grandson,
These hot guys.
Eli Smoker.
And I can't deal with the name.
And so Christian McCaffrey called 911. He kept the head of Mr. Smoker Sr. Stabilized while he waited for the ambulance to come. It was about 11 minutes. He said it felt like a lifetime. He checked his phone to see how long it took. The people there had no idea who he was. And in the article that I read, their response was they had no idea that he was Ed McCaffrey's son. No mention of the fact that he was, a legitimate NFL football player. But we salute you, Christian McCaffrey, because not only can you catch the ball out of the backfield, but you did a good deed. So that was what makes you the return of this week's young, hot guy of the week.
These hot guys.
Yahago to a W.
It's a very long acronym. Very.
You got to.
What? All right, let's talk some hoops. The NCAA.
Sean, what do you? Fuck yourself, Sean.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, he's football.
Yeah, he's football.
What about the white man?
What do you think, white man? What do you think?
I was gonna do a white man impression.
Okay.
I miss the white man.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'd welcome him back with open arms.
He's busy watching DePaul from the courtside seats.
True story. So we got a couple of automatic bids. I'm going to run through these line by line. You tell me if any of these. Let's go through the percentage chance that these teams have of reaching the Final Four. Not
And I'll also tell you which ones I bet on or bet against and lost.
oh, good. I like that. That's
Yeah.
a nice wrinkle.
Only Final Four.
Yeah, Final Four. Not
We at least go. Let's go Sweet 16. That's a good.
Yeah, Final Four is really hard. It's not like there's a lot of George Masons floating around out there.
all right. Sweet 16.
Okay, so this first one stings.
Okay, out of the Atlantic Sun.
Yeah,
Boston
Lipscomb,
Why does it sting?
because they beat Florida Gulf Coast, and I had money on that game. Why? I don't know, but I did.
So did you fall in love with the Florida Gulf Coast?
Oh, Florida Goth. Sorry. Sorry.
I'm sorry, is that a beer? A Ghost?
I don't know.
Gosa?
Florida Gulf Coast. Did you fall in love with that name?
No, I just
Recognize the name, and that's why you put money on it. Is what I'm asking.
I recognized it a little bit, and I had some insight that they got blown out. I mean, it was a hell of a game. Holy shit, those two teams scored a combined almost 200. I think they scored like 202 points in that game.
Did somebody hit a shot at the buzzer to win that game? Was that
No.
I think that was Radford actually.
No, but
Never mind.
that was Radford. Lipscomb came out and was up 61 to like 31 at halftime. I was like, well, that game's over for me. And then next thing you know, it was like 100-94 with like a minute and a half left. I'm like, holy shit, they came all the way back.
So I'm proud of you for one thing there in that story. You ready for it? Do you think you know what it is?
That I pronounced the team right?
No, I'm proud of you that they were getting blown out at the half, and you were just like, well, that game's over for me, rather than jumping on the in-game line
Well,
and trying to make good on the Lipscomb. What are they?
I
I don't
learned
even
a hard lesson the day before on the Knicks in-game line.
never bet on the Knicks.
It wasn't. I bet against them, and they gave me the big middle finger. Anyway,
out of the big set. Oh yeah, what are the odds? The Sweet 16 odds, Brett.
oof,
0.
yeah,
zero.
-0.
Zero.
-1.
-1. I'm gonna go with 2%. 2%.
Wow.
I feel like this is PTI. Where you're like, give me the odds. And,
Yeah. And reality, I'm gonna win. The Big South Conference, Radford.
Produces,
zero.
I actually can't say anything about this school because I have a lot of friends on Facebook who went to Radford. No comment.
Hashtag Radford.
That's a school for real. Like when I read that, I was like, wow.
Yeah, it produces a lot of attractive young ladies.
I don't know where Radford is. Do you have
It's in
any?
Virginia.
It's in the South.
It's
It's
in
in
Virginia.
the big South.
It's in Virginia.
The Big South. Good point. I don't know what came over me. Like, imagine if Radford was in like Oregon. That's what these conferences are.
In football, that would make sense, but they're pretty geographically sound in basketball.
First actual power conference, the Big Ten, Michigan.
I give them a 70% chance.
Wow,
No
that
way.
is high.
Sweet 16?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. I've been watching a lot of Big Ten basketball, obviously with Rutgers in there and Michigan State, and Michigan beat Michigan State
They did.
for the second time this year.
Yeah. So you find okay. Good.
And I think that Michigan certainly is man, they took down Purdue. They're a strong team, but I think they're going to get exposed for what they really are. They have weakness in the 3-point game.
Yeah.
I just completely made that up.
Sure, but you really, I just completely made that up.
Michigan,
They only have to win 2 games to get to the Sweet 16.
Big Ten's weak.
You think the Big Ten's weak?
70%, and you give them what, Yampo?
I mean, I'll give them like a 45% chance.
Yeah, I think that's a good number, like 40 to 45%. I like that.
Wait, let's stop this segment. Can we do a NCAA hoops tournament thing with the show?
Well, what do you
with
want?
with the listeners?
Like, do you want to do like?
I want to continue what we did last year. That's no cost to the consumer.
So wait, so there's no cost to the
No, that's the thing. So it's like a paid tournament.
right. So you pay to be in.
No, but it's no cost to the consumer, even though it's a paid tournament.
So who pays?
So it's about the show. So the show, like the payment comes from the show, but not from the listener.
I don't get it.
Right. So there's no cost to the
There's
consumer.
no cost to the consumer.
Here's what we can do.
Yeah.
Since that experiment last year was a complete fucking flop.
Yeah.
What we can do is come up with some kind of betting segment or some kind of degenerate gambling situation. Will I win or lose a certain dollar value? And you guys each guess, and then I have to pay out.
But
man with $1 billion.
No, I don't.
I'd rather be emotionally invested in the tournament.
Aren't you emotionally invested in my well-being?
No, I think we do. I think we try it again. I think we try the tournament again. But
don't you want to be checking your phone at 1:40 p.m. on a Thursday and go, "Oh God damn it, Radford lost to Delaware State."
Brett, can you do a little bit of recon right now and find out when the not the play-in games, but the games after that are? Because that's really when the tournament actually starts.
It's next Thursday.
So we'll have this show recorded by then. So
okay, so we'll
put it
next
up.
week. Tune in to us.
Remember, we were supposed to be in Vegas for the Devils Golden Knights game next Wednesday, leading into our big live from the MGM Casino Sportsbook.
That's true.
Wow, we
podcast,
really
so
dropped the ball on that.
Really fucked that up. Life got in the way.
That was bad. Because that would have been a great trip too.
Oh my God. Anyway,
I bet you Sean still goes.
Fuck Sean.
So creative artist agency.
I think my best shot to see Sean is going to be at the 2018 MLB All-Star Game here in Washington.
Probably. Or the next outdoor game. Because apparently he's at all those.
Listen, so check Facebook and we'll tweet it out too for the link to the no cost to the consumer tournament.
That's a good name for it.
That's what it is. The no cost to the consumer tournament.
We should see if we can get Grant Hewitt at Strieger Sports to make some shirts for us. No cost to the consumer.
I like that. That's a nice plug there. We should direct message them, slide into his DMs.
It's uncomfortable. Get back to our percentages.
Charleston out of the CAA. Yuck.
0.
Yuck. Right? Yuck. The Horizon League, right? State.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I have a little bit of insight here. I bet on Wright State 4 times this year.
On purpose.
Yes, on purpose.
God, you have such a problem.
3-1 against the spread.
They are.
I'm gonna give them a 35% chance. This could be a team. They've got some good size. They got some good outside perimeter shooting. This could be like a tricky VCU Valpo kind of situation here.
Yeah, if
Keep
they
an eye on them.
If they don't get like a 16 seed.
Yeah, well, a 1's never lost to a 16. We get it. I can't wait.
Wright State comes in.
We should just bet as a group every year, like $100 on each 16 seed. Just pool our money, $400.
That's a dumb bet. That's a dumb bet.
No, because 1 year it's gonna hit and it's gonna be huge.
It's not gonna be worth it.
The payoff. You got to check the odds because I don't think the payout would be that. Would that be that big on that kind of a game?
I'll let you know.
You do that. Out of the MAC, Iona for the 3rd year in a row going to the tournament.
45% chance.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them 50-55 here.
They had a bad year for them actually, so I'm gonna go more along the lines of 15%.
Okay.
Ryder absolutely shit the bed. Shout out to Anthony Sanfilippo, loyal listener who's a throwers coach over for Ryder Track. Yeah, your boys dropped the ball this year. They absolutely should be there, but they couldn't get it done. So, out of the Missouri Valley, Loyola Chicago. How many Loyolas are there? Like seriously, can't we just have one? Like you don't see like Notre Dame of Alabama. Like you don't see these. Like why are they doing it?
You do see Miami University of Ohio.
Equally as stupid.
I don't know about all that, but okay. Home of Andy Green and the Beezer.
Whatever. Loyola Chicago.
Busby.
Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Just saying.
They're all stupid. Name it something different.
Okay, fine. Tell me how you really feel, Loyola Marymount.
That's how I
Loyola, Maryland.
Do we give them any shot? Loyola Chicago?
No.
2.
Ooh. The Northeast Conference. LIU.
I bet on Loyola Chicago 1 game this year. That's why I'm giving them 2%.
Of course you did. Northeast Conference. LIU Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
I'm sorry. Is this Long Island University, Brooklyn?
Yes, it is.
And for that reason, I'm out.
100%.
Out of the Ohio Valley, Murray State.
Murray State sneaks in every now and then.
10%, right?
Let's give them a 10 to 15.
Let's go with a 4.25.
Out of the Southern Conference, UNC Greensboro.
Great logo.
They win their first round game, lose their second round game.
Oh, so they get close, right?
So
They
25%.
They tease you there. Out of the Summit League.
Is that in New Jersey? Is that like a AAU league or what is that?
God damn it! You wonder why they're freaking these big conferences are just gobbling teams up. Because who the hell wants to go play in the Summit League?
Well, apparently,
South Dakota State.
South Dakota State wants to play there, and they have a 0.00 chance, same as Nikki's GPA.
Not good. Not good. And out of the West Coast Conference, another big name, Gonzaga.
100% chance.
Wow. I don't know about 100. I'm going to go more so along the lines of 62.5.
Yeah, I would say somewhere between 60 and 70. So we'll see.
That's 10 percentage points.
True story. True story. Well, they got to win games that are back to back to get there.
And to belly to belly.
All right. In New York this week, we've got two of the bigger tournaments that I pay attention to. I don't know about either of you guys.
Well, I used to pay attention when the Big East tournament was actually epic.
It's still a good tournament. It's not what it was though.
When we were in college, spring break, we were in Vegas my senior year of college, and we just sat in that sports book and crushed it. On championship week.
We were in Vegas with you, weren't we, Jeff?
No, that was a different trip.
No,
we were there for the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Yes, and so was he. Didn't he just say that?
No, I was there for the championship week.
Oh, okay.
And it was the little theme song they had for the Big East tournament was just a little bit of history repeating itself. That's for Jimmy Sirocco. # naked boy.
I wish it was John Tesh instead.
Oh. I think I'm going to make that my ringtone right now.
You should. You totally should. What do you think out of these two tournaments? So you got the ACC and the Big East, which the ACC kind of pillaged a bunch of Big East teams, and they're the new ACC. They're clearly, I think, the better conference from top to bottom.
Shirley
you didn't call me Shirley.
What do you think the chances are that the Final Four features? Let's do it this way. What do you think the chances are the Final Four features at least 3 teams from those two conferences?
I guess you got to see where they're all seated, right? Like what region?
No, you don't.
What region they get put in?
Well, okay, fair enough. I think you're gonna have definitely 2.
You do think so?
Absolutely, I can agree with that.
I think you got Duke there. You got UNC.
No,
you
Duke can't go.
Mix it up. You got Virginia.
Yes, sir.
Well, Virginia's definitely, yeah. Virginia has the best path there, I think. When you look at the games today, Florida State went down to Louisville.
Got waxed.
No, they didn't. They lost by 8.
That's a waxing.
But they're 20-11. Do you think they get in?
Florida State?
20-11 in the ACC, but losing early in the ACC tournament.
Probably should get in, right?
And then you got NC State losing to Boston College. They're 21-11. See, that's the weird part about these teams, right? Like, then you got Syracuse playing tonight.
Yeah, Carolina.
With Carolina.
About 10 minutes.
They're 20-12, but they're not any good. No. They're just not. So,
I can't see them in the tournament.
So that's what I mean. Like, you've got a couple of these teams with 20 wins, and they're not that impressive. But 20 wins in the ACC typically
was very much a magic number. Yes,
it would get you in. So I don't know. I mean, I think this is going to be a weird year. I think you're going to see a lot of stuff on Sunday where people are like either really pissed off, or you're going to see a lot of acceptance that the conference is not maybe as strong as we thought. I'm still a Big East guy, so.
Yeah, well, all right. So you got Seton Hall, right? You got
what in the Big East?
Yeah.
You definitely have Villanova and Xavier that are the top 2 that are going to get in. Villanova's
Villanova
probably going to get a 1 seed. They might even get they probably won't get the number 1 overall. That'll probably go to Virginia, assuming that Virginia holds serve in the ACC tournament. But after Villanova and Xavier, you got like a log jam in the Big East, because you got Creighton at 21-10, Seton Hall 21-10, then you got Providence at 19-12, Butler at 19-12. So
I think Butler sneaks in there. I guess Providence probably has to then too. Yeah.
I think a lot of it will depend on this week. You know what I mean? If Providence can make a run into like the semifinals of the tournament, they've got to get in. The funny thing about Providence was, and I didn't bring this up on the last show. Maybe we haven't recorded since. Seton Hall went up and played Providence. I think it was at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. Shout out to
love that place.
Got to get a Dunkin'.
To Dave Matthews and Trey Anastasio, where we saw them a bunch of years ago.
Yes.
But apparently it was when we had that like heat wave and the floor, the arena got so hot that the ice underneath the floor like kept coming up through the basketball floor.
Really?
So they had to like they paused the game. Like they started the second half and paused the game and resumed it the next day on Providence's campus.
Oh, brutal.
I don't understand how you don't forfeit that game. So
one would think you'd have to.
Providence is not very good. I've watched a lot of Big East basketball. They're not very good, but
I've done some betting this year on Big East. I've got some Providence, Xavier, Creighton, couple Seton Hall games.
Xavier's very good. Xavier, I think, out of the Big East is the sneaky team that people understand is good, but I don't think they know is that good.
What is Marquette in the Big East still?
They are, but they've had a weird year. They beat Seton Hall twice, which was a kick in the balls.
Yeah, I lost some money on that one.
But they're 18-12. You know.
Yeah, they're all kind of jammed in there within one or two losses within each other.
Yeah, that's why you look at it. You got, Seton Hall and Creighton both with 21 wins. Like if they don't go out super early in the Big East tournament, they're locks at, maybe an 8 seed or a 9 seed. But then you're looking at these other two teams, like a Providence, a Butler, and a Marquette. So those three teams, they might find themselves on one of those play-in games. I don't know. I love the Big East tournament. It's not what it was, but it's at the Garden, although everything's at the Garden now, so I guess it doesn't matter.
It's not like back in the day when Jimmy McNamara was playing for Cuse. God,
those tournaments were sick.
Weren't those great? Those games against like UConn, Georgetown, John Thompson.
Well,
are you just saying names?
He's just naming things. It's like
Ron Burgundy. I love Lamp.
Carmelo Anthony.
Kemba
Walker.
Did I just say Kemba Walker?
I don't even know. Is that a real guy?
It's a very ancillary point that you're making there.
Florida Gulf Coast.
Florida Gulf Coast. Jared Gulf Coast.
Yeah, Florida Gulf Coast. Yeah.
We've derailed.
So we'll see. I mean, this is always a fun week. If you were putting money on a table, are you going to bet on either of those tournaments or no?
I'm kind of at a little bit of a beatdown, so I'm kind of staying away from this. I'm going to wait till next week.
So you're not touching the championship?
No, I did bet on the Duke North Carolina game this past weekend.
Who'd you take?
North Carolina money line.
Bad guys. Take the bad guys. Don't ever take the bad guys.
Take the good guys.
Those are the good guys. Just so we're clear.
You're very wrong on that, especially in Cameron. You took Carolina. That's
well. The money line was plus 300, so I just threw a little 50 spot on that. 50 to win 150.
All right.
They were up fucking 12 at halftime. Here's the worst part. I took the in-game line I took the in-game team total for points for Carolina. It slipped to like 70.5. Okay. And they had 40 points at halftime or something. So they just needed to score 30, whatever. They needed to score like 40 points. And they didn't score a goddamn basket for like 4 minutes at the end of the second half. And I was like, go fuck yourself, San Diego.
Listen, you come into Cameron and the defense locks down.
You come into Cameron, you get Domino's Pizza. Place is a dump.
Lock down.
9,000 assholes in that place.
It's a good time. You ever been there for a game?
I have. When I worked at the NHL, I went to the game down there, the Boston College Duke game several years ago.
An awesome game, right?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Place is definitely cool.
Yeah. Whatever. It is what it is.
You went there. I went there. It's all good.
Yeah, Paul.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul. Go fuck yourself.
All right. So any takeaways at all before we post our tournament challenge, the no cost to the consumer tournament challenge for championship week, Brett? Do you have anything that you think pay attention to before we, move on to the big dance next week?
I'm not going to fall for the who cares again.
We're not there.
Okay. Is Kansas going to Kansas itself?
Good. Yes, they definitely will.
Can we get Timmy? Can we get Rock Chalk?
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Rock Chalk.
No, Jeff, I'm excited for it, man. It's one of my most favorite times of the year for sports. So I don't have anything.
I'm letting you go. I don't know why.
I know.
I don't know why he's being a bad guy. I mean, bad guy right here.
Good cop, bad cop. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. Dave, any last words on the conference championships week before we hit into the tournament?
Go green.
I'll go white. What do we want to do here? We have this kind of up in the air. Do we want to talk the NFL and the combine, or do we want to talk baseball? I'll let you two. Let one of you just take the reins and figure out where we're going next.
I'd rather talk about some of these football moves that are happening today. Shit's on fire today.
And let's do it.
I mean, Michael Bennett going to the Eagles for a Philly cheesesteak and a fucking bird.
All I know is I looked at that deal and I was like, the Jets have 2 second-round picks. Like, I would have given one of them for him. Like, I would.
What was the deal? Somebody break it down for me.
Bag of balls. I mean, they got him for nothing.
But what was it for real?
Hold on, I don't know what exactly it was, but it wasn't anything.
I got it right here. Hold on.
Do we have an intern, Nikki?
No, I got it right here. They are trading defensive end. The Seahawks are trading defensive end Michael Bennett and a 7th-round pick. So the Hawks are giving up Bennett and a 7th-rounder to Philly for a 5th-rounder and wide receiver Marcus Johnson.
Who?
Okay.
Do you think the Eagles are going to sign Martellus Bennett and we're going to have the Bennett brothers?
Are either of you interested in Marcus Johnson's stat line from this year?
Sure, I am.
5 catches.
Hold on. Oh, I was gonna do it. All right, so I already know it's 5 catches. I'm gonna say 5 catches for 32 yards and a fumble.
Brett?
5 for 55 and a fumble.
Oh, sorry. Price is Right rules. Yempo wins. It is 5 for 45. Now you would say like
no fumble.
I don't have any. No, that's not true. He does have a fumble.
Epic.
He does have a fumble. Now you would say like, all right, well he probably didn't play many games if he only has 5 catches for 45 yards
and a fumble.
Oh no, you would be wrong. He played in 10 games.
Holy shit! Wow.
So essentially, like the Eagles, straight off of that Super Bowl win, just went into Seattle and were like, "We'll just take him."
Well, the Pats wanted him too.
Jesus Christ!
Supposedly, a reporter said
that the Eagles definitely didn't get worse.
No, they didn't. You know who got better today too?
Tell us.
The New York Football Giants.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Alec Ogletree.
They literally could all show up to the facility and tie their shoelaces, and they would have all gotten better today. So,
wow, it's just me.
From the guy whose team lost the Super Bowl.
Listen, I don't know if you know this about his team though, but Yampo,
it's a lesson.
It was the first time that Brady's kids really reacted that way. And listen, look, guys, this is a great lesson. We don't always win.
You don't. Sometimes life stinks.
Hard lesson to learn, but the team that you got to keep your eye on here is the New York Jets with $100 million cap room. But the Giants got better today. Alec Ogletree, stud linebacker, 26 years old. Interesting move that they signed him to a 4-year extension in October, the Rams did. And they're going to, they have some tough decisions to make this offseason. They got a lot of young guys on a good squad, young hot guys. And
you're giving up a 4th and a 6th.
I'm okay with that.
Dave, is that contract anything to worry about financially?
No, apparently they're going to be able to spread it out by making part of it a signing bonus and then spread it out over the course of the 4 years of the deal. And for once in the last 7 years, someone in the Giants front office has made fucking linebacker a priority, thankfully. We haven't had a fucking line. We've had a who's who of revolving door linebackers since Antonio Pierce retired.
It looks like this year, Dave, I don't know if you saw this. First of all, the contract he signed in October was 4 years, $42 million, and $33 million of it was in the first 3 years. So he's going to collect a $7 million roster bonus on the 16th of March, and he's going to count $10 million against your cap.
But you can spread it out. You can spread it out and make it like a $5 million cap hit by making a bunch of it a signing bonus. Surprised you didn't know that.
I'm just reading what it says here. It says it's going to count $10 million. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm a fucking cap expert, so
it's got a good spread, though. It's got a good spread.
Got a good spread.
I just think this is a good. Listen, I'm fine with it. I'm good with it. It also might give us a little insight into what the Giants might be doing in the draft.
Well, let's talk about that really fast because Brett made a comment earlier and I didn't want to. I wanted to address it later in the show, and I'm glad we decided to go football here.
Okay.
He said that the number one player he would draft in this draft is a running back.
Yes.
So you're sitting at
Nick
2.
Chubbs?
You're sitting at 2. My assumption is that the Browns are going to take a quarterback at 1. Do you think that's a bad assumption? That's the first question.
I don't think it's a bad assumption. I think it's a bad move for the Browns.
I agree. I think it's a bad move for the Browns. I would take.
Let me tell you why.
Saquon Barkley 1.
Let me tell you why. Because as Brett just alluded to, Saquon Barkley is far and above the most unique talent at a position player in this draft. So if you can take him 1 and have your pick of 3 or 4 of the 6 quarterbacks who are all kind of a crapshoot at 4, I think you're fine. So what? You don't get Sam Darnold. I think you got Rosen or
Josh Allen, Mayfield.
Josh Allen. I feel like Josh Allen could be prototypical body. Mason Rudolph, Baker Mayfield. I don't know. I'm just
You got your pick. You don't know which one's going to work out. Where Dave, your point is, you look at Saquon's tools and you're like, how can you pass that up? So go for that guy.
All right. Well, let's pump the brakes a second there because we definitely have some time before the draft. And I think we're going to do probably a very draft heavy show, and hopefully we'll get a college football expert to talk to us about what these guys actually did in college.
Whose preseason pick for the best player in college football was Saquon Barkley?
Was it really?
Yeah.
Who?
The statistics that he put up in the combine were jaw dropping.
Stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Listen,
I know. Nobody is.
But come on.
No, a lot of people are.
Nobody in reality is.
I mean, Julio Jones isn't.
Let's just assume that the Browns do what the Browns do, and they don't take this kid at 1.
Okay.
You're in a spot right now with an aging quarterback.
An Asian quarterback?
Aging quarterback.
Eli Manning's son.
Not nice. What do you do? If he's on the board, what do you do?
All right, listen, JJ Redick, relax over there. What do you do? What do you do? There's a bomb on a bus. What do you do?
Barkley's
Dennis Hopper.
Barkley's there too. What do the Giants do?
Here's the thing. I think there's only one of 2 options here. They either take him or they trade down for someone who wants him so bad they get a first-round pick and a couple other things. They're apparently going to sign the free agent guy from the Carolina Panthers that Gettleman drafted in 2014.
I knew they were looking at that kid out of Notre Dame too. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think they either draft Barkley or they trade down. That's it. If Barkley's not taking number 1, they take him or they trade out. Somebody's going to want him really bad if the Browns don't take him.
I just hope it's not
the Jets,
the Patriots, or the Dolphins.
It could be the Jets.
The Jets and Giants don't make trades. They just don't.
Hey, the Devils and Rangers didn't make trades until this past trade deadline for the first time ever.
I'll tell you what. The only way I would be cool with that is if they actually got Cousins. If they get Cousins and they're not going to draft a quarterback.
Well, that's clear. Yeah, we'll know that in a week.
What would it take for you to move 4 spots? Like
swap picks and your first rounder next year because you're going to stink on ice next year, and I don't know, a second rounder this year too. I don't. At least 3 picks total, and 2 of them have to be first rounds.
So what if we did?
You're talking a Sam Bradford RG3 type swap here.
What if we did? We swap picks this year, and then I give you next year's 1. I give you a 2 this year, but you give me a 2 next year.
No deal.
Because of the 2 next year.
Yep. That's a deal killer for me.
So without that, you do it.
Yeah, you want Barkley that bad? I'll slide down 4 spots with you. You take him. I want your first next year and a second this year.
Yeah, I don't think I do that.
Even if you have Cousins?
Yeah, I don't think I do it.
I mean, your first next year is guaranteed to be a top 15 pick, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
I'm just asking. I was not asking negatively.
No, I didn't take it that way. I honestly don't think that's necessarily true because if they go out and they get Cousins, which is the only way that they would actually make that move, they go out and they get Cousins and they've got, let's say, conservatively, they've got $60 million left to spend. Like, there's a lot that you can do. The NFL is
Okay, so then you're really only giving up this year's second round pick.
well, you're still giving up a one, but even
Okay, but you're giving up a one. If you think your team can win, you're giving up a second half of the first round pick, which obviously there's plenty of good players available in the first round, but it's much different than a top 10 first round pick.
I agree. In knowing who we're dealing with here and knowing McCagnon, I don't see him doing it. I can see Jet fans wanting him to do it if that's the case, but
We got new blood in the Giants front office.
I just don't see him doing it.
We'll find out. So long story short, Giants are either going to take him or trade. I know that sounds like, oh, anybody could think that, but I think that's really all there is to it.
What would you do?
WWDY?
Yes.
Barkley.
D. To be honest with you, it'd be hard not. I'd be fine. I'd be happy either way. I'd probably be a little more excited if they took Barkley.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, to add that weapon to a couple more years with Manning, and you have OBJ, Ingram, Shepard, I don't know. I don't.
You've got me, you, and Brett on the offensive line, so that's good.
Yeah.
I might be crazy in thinking this. I think in the time you can rebuild your offensive line. But I think he projects somebody like Ezekiel Elliott. So if you could get 4, 5, maybe stud years from Saquon Barkley, I think the Giants put themselves in a tremendous position.
Let's be clear about the offensive line. The offensive line can be built strategically.
Yeah.
There's only a handful of splash guys, right? And those don't necessarily always pan out. Sean O'Hara was signed to the Giants from the Browns because he had a couple good years with the Browns. They didn't spend a shit ton of money on him. They drafted 1 or 2 guys here and there. I mean, apparently DJ Fluker has been working out like a savage. He's getting bigger and getting leaner. I could be okay with him sticking around. You signed the guy from the Panthers who Gettleman drafted in 2014, and then you're maybe looking at getting one more guy. You got Pugh, you got Weston Richburg. You need maybe one more guy. You need to address left tackle. Okay?
Sure.
Okay, but here's the issue, and I know that it's the NFL, so you can spread things out and you can change things. I get that. You got just under 24 million. You don't have a lot of cap space, and that's country stuff. So let's say he does cost you 8, like you were saying you could get it down to. You're still left with not a lot of money to spend.
Is Jeff completely free?
Number 2?
Yeah, Jeff is going in 16-bit.
Okay, all right, Jeff. You're like a Nintendo.
Well,
you were a Nintendo, and Brett was a Sega, and I'm a Nintendo 64.
That's good. Do you hear me or no?
No, you're the worst.
No.
Fucking worst.
Anyway.
Oh, there he is. He's back.
The recording will hear this. You've got $24 million of cap space, and that's not counting the stuff.
I know how much cap space I have. I am. Listen, I do get a little nervous about taking a running back. Those guys get pounded, but whatever. We'll see what happens. Time will tell when the Jets trade up for 2.
We will.
Baker Mayfield.
Give me one more of those Scotch and Peptos. I got a case of squirts, but I still want to drink.
All right, since apparently my internet is cutting in and out, let's try to close.
Oh, you're back. You're back. You're good.
You sound good now.
That's good. I heard you clear the whole time, so the recording will make the 2 of you liars. So it's fine.
Okay, probably not, but all right.
What do you got, Yampo? Last call.
Taylor Hall.
What about him? I'm hearing nothing from him. Good. That's good. That's good.
Am I the only one with a good internet connection today?
I don't know. He left us, so he totally
irony.
dropped out. He dropped out of the call altogether. Maybe his power went out. He was bragging about not having the snow or anything like that. Let's go to you, Drunky. What do you got for last call?
I will echo his sentiments of Taylor Hall.
What about him?
Points in 26 consecutive games. As he creeps further and further up the list of points in consecutive games, he's somewhere in like the top 10 now. But if you look at all the names, it pretty much goes like Yager, Gordie Howe, Gretzky Lemieux.
Taylor Hall.
So Taylor Hall's right in that stratosphere right now.
Thanks for taking over for me because my fat fucking fingers tried to close out one window, and I shut down all the internet boxes. And I was like, these guys are definitely crushing me right now for being technologically impaired.
I tried to pick it up.
Taylor Hall, baby.
Yeah. Do you have anything different to add other than the fact that Brett just, took your point and ran with it?
We should have an exciting stretch run here with the Devils. I see Jeff getting into a little Devils action on the chat.
Proud of you, buddy.
I've been watching a couple hockey games lately. I think Schneider is just a liability in a close game. I've always felt that way.
Honestly, you're right, but you're spoiled by Marty Brodeur.
Well, yeah,
it's just that's what that is, and you have to realize that that's pretty much what goaltenders are for the most part. There's a couple very good ones out there,
there's like Dave Yampolsky and.
But what we see in the hockey playoffs a lot of times is just guys start standing on their heads for 16 games and carry their team. So It can be anybody, and I think Schneider's as capable as being that person as anybody else.
No doubt. Let me give you a little insight into my stat sheet, okay? Just to give you a frame of reference, I'm similar to an NHL goaltender.
Yes, thank you.
The last 3 games prior to my game last Sunday, I gave up 1 goal in 3 games. 1.
Proud of you.
Sunday, 5. Okay?
Not so good.
So, it happens. We're streaky. We're heady people. I think Schneider's coming back off a long layoff, and he's got to work back in a little bit. But Devils got to score more goals. They did that the other night against Montreal. Should be a fun stretch run. They got a lot of tough games coming up against a lot of playoff teams. So these points they left on the table in the last 2 weeks, kind of a problem. You got to beat the teams below you. Now they're playing all teams above them. We'll see what happens.
I got tickets to a game on the 24th. It's a Saturday. I'm gonna do a little Periscope live there from.
You should.
Ooh, I can hook you up with their social media girl who I used to work with at the NHL, at Tina Jane.
That'd be great. Maybe she can
give a little low and outside.
Give the pod a little plug. That'd be nice.
Ooh, let's do it.
I wanted to go last night because in a blend for our podcast between beer and sports, Carton Brewery was doing a tap takeover at the Goal Bar.
I saw that
during the Devils game.
Brett, you remember when we just used to sneak into the Goal Bar?
Yeah, all the time.
They tried to make the Goal Bar like an exclusive area, and Brett and I just weren't having it. We were trying to hit every different back stairwell into the fucking Goal Bar.
And we did. We go to suites.
Then they just acquiesced, and they were like, you know what, fuck it. We're going to open it up at intermission for people. This is silly.
Smart.
They moved. I'm still convinced to this day they moved the post-game show because of us.
Yeah,
remember they used to do it at the bars there.
Fucking assholes we were.
Who was
in the background?
Who was doing the post game?
Danico was at that time still.
Right there. I think that's why they moved it.
They moved it.
Well, he did have he had a few cocktails during the show.
I think Cangelosi at that time was on the post game. He wasn't doing the game. But yeah.
Between that and the Arena Bar, we used to just go there and drink that place out of liquor.
I miss that.
And dilly dillies.
So Jeff, last call from me. The U playing tomorrow night, Thursday night, in the ACC tournament. In the ACC tournament, opponent still TBD. But tomorrow,
also in the acronym Olympics.
Can you start that over? Because I honestly didn't catch anything you were trying to say. Start again.
The U.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
TBD. ACC tournament.
Right.
Down in the BK.
At the BK.
At the Barclays C.
Right. What about it?
Just, go U. I've been that was my team
all year.
At the beginning of the year. I said it on the
podcast. Been a 30 for 30.
Sure. We should have done that. Yeah. We should have done 30 for 30. I'm Brett getting into the U.
It's a good thing you didn't follow the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Minnesota.
Well, you know what? The brothers shake hands got into me a little bit.
Got off the rails. I've got one.
Who cares?
The Washington Redskins.
Oh, this is a good one.
Replacement players during the 1987 strike season.
The Scabs
won 3 games that they played while they were the Scabs, and the Skins went on to win the Super Bowl that year. Those guys never got rings,
right? Until
now. They all will receive a Super Bowl ring as a result of it. Most of them were cut after the strike ended. Blah 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 blah. I didn't see.
That should have ended up in Who Cares, by the way.
I didn't see if they would get a share of the bonus. Oh,
They did back in the day. They did.
The 1987 bonus was $1,000,
Yeah.
so they all got
They
they
were
all got $6.
they were like, here's a 6-pack of Bud Light and get on your way. It's fine. But now they're getting rings, which, to be honest, that's the right thing to do. I mean, they give rings out to everybody in the organization.
No, they do. You're right, and it's unfortunate for them because they all have CTE and have no clue where they are.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
you're just going to be handing them rings.
Listen,
Why would they do this though? It's like 21 years later.
better late than never.
I'm sorry, 31 years. Jesus Christ, Dave.
Yeah, you're old, dude. You're old.
Fuck.
All right, thanks for taking the time, everybody. We appreciate you joining us.
Check out our Twitter.
Check out our Twitter. We're going to tweet out not only today's show, but we're also going to tweet out the link eventually to our no cost to the consumer NCAA basketball pool.
where you can have an opportunity to have a beer with us.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost anything to the consumer.
So there's no cost to the consumer NCAA basketball pool. So until next time, everybody.
Desperandum,
We'll see
dear
you.
lady. Across the desert lies the promised land. Goodbye, Mrs. Gloop. Adieu. Auf Wiedersehen. Gesundheit. Farewell.
Fare thee well to you, my own true love. River Mercy, fare thee well. I am bound for California, a place that I know right well. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think